Welcome back to Beyond the Stethoscope. I'm your host, Dr. Shahinaz Soliman, and today we are hosting a very special person. He's very special to me because he's my husband, Carl Silva. Carl is a brilliant scientist. He is the innovator of many different inventions. Carl is the co founder of CallMyDoc and the person who has shared with me a life of incredible adventure. We have a blended family of 5 kids and 5 dogs. Today, we're opening up the curtains on our journey, our family, our challenges, the companies we built together, and the dreams we still have ahead. Carl, welcome to Beyond the Stethoscope.
Thank you.
Let's start talking first. I want to talk about can you talk about how we met and what drew us to each other?
Yes, how we met was at a technology conference. I just happened to be there, and it was in Florida. And at that time, um, it was just kind of a random thing, just kind of randomly happened. And then I was living in San Diego. She was living in Palos Verdes, which is pretty far, an hour and a half or so drive. So I was thinking the whole time, this isn't going to work out at all. I shouldn't even pursue it. Um, But then I came up and I met with her, and it was just immediate attraction all the time because she's so beautiful and so intelligent,
Thank
and
you.
the intelligence is off the charts. And that is something that, given the way I am and my background, I really, really was attracted to it.
Thank you, Carl. Okay, we have a blended family of 5 children and 5 dogs. How would you describe the beautiful chaos of our home life?
Uh, that's a good one. 5 dogs and 5 kids. Yeah, it's a lot to manage all the time with everything else that's going on. But I think it's awesome. I mean, the dogs act like little babies. The kids are grown up, but they always have their things that they need to do and they need help with and this and that. And so we just kind of, you and I can just kind of help each other out to make everything work and make the whole thing happy. And it's worked out great.
Okay. What values or habits do you feel have kept our marriage strong through careers, kids, businesses, and everything in between?
Well, it's pretty easy. Um, your mindset and your background and the way that you do things, to be honest, I mean, it's part of your culture or whatever you want to say about it, but it's really awesome to be with somebody that has such great values and at the same time understands all the gives and takes that it takes to make marriage work correctly. And it takes work, and I see the work that you put in, and I put in as much work as I can on purpose so that everything just gels together and things just work out perfectly.
Yeah, because we both are workaholics, I guess.
Right.
Carl, we've lived many adventures together. What is one moment in our life as a couple that changed you or shaped the direction we took?
There's been so many, I don't know where to start, period. There's I really don't know where to start. It's been one thing after another the whole time from the beginning to the end, to when your mother got sick, to when we moved from one house to another house. I mean, it's been a constant whirlwind of changes every 6 to 9 months. But again, because of my personality, I like it. So it works for me. It might drive some other person crazy, but it doesn't bother me at all.
Okay. Okay. So you don't remember one specific moment in our life as a couple that changed you or shaped the direction we took?
Well, I mean, there was where you tricked me into developing this CallMyDoc app, by just saying, hey, guess what? I already started it. And that was kind of interesting. So that definitely made a big change in what we were doing because then I had to make it work. And the interesting thing about it is that at that time, you didn't really know me that well. So you didn't know what I was capable of. And it could have been a complete waste of money. Um, but turns out it wasn't.
Yes. And I'm so proud of you. I already knew about all what you done in the past and all of your inventions with other companies and yeah, and I had big faith and no doubt that this will be very successful. How do you describe our dynamic as partners, both at home and business?
Extremely compatible because we both have a very strong work ethic. We're both looking all the time at new ways to change things and make things better and being entrepreneurial and a variety of different things. And I think that just works really well for both of us, period. Because, a lot of people might be like, well, on a weekend or even right now at 6:30 at night, other people might be just sitting around watching TV doing nothing. And you and I never do that, ever. We always have things to do, things that need to get done. And I like it. It's great.
Great. We created Call My Doc together from scratch. What inspired you to say, yes, we can solve this problem? Do you remember our first date?
Yeah, we actually came up with the idea for the app on our first date.
Yes, I remember that. So explain for me, explain for everyone what happened that day.
Oh, what's happening is she kept getting phone calls for, excuse me, from a patient, and doctors are contractually required to be available after hours for emergencies and problems and this and that. But the thing is, the way that she was being had to do it, and this even exists now, is just a call center service, and then they call you with a random phone call. You have no idea what's going to happen to you, what's going on. I mean, it just the whole thing was just I couldn't believe it. And my background coming out of Bell Communications Research, what I thought was there's got to be some way to connect the phone call to the patient charts because this doesn't make any sense. You have no idea what's going on. And so that kind of on our first date was what happened to come up with the idea for connecting an app to the patient charts.
Yes, I remember that day because we were at dinner and I have to go out to speak to a suicidal patient. And
Correct.
it took the entire time the food came, the food like stayed for like an hour or two between all of the family members calling me and all of that.
Correct.
So I thought, okay, that's it. It's not happening. I'm like, forget about it. And he said, no, 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 I'm not gonna forget about it. I have an idea. Let's do the app for after our calls.
Yeah.
Remember that?
And that's where it started.
Yeah. From your point of view as a scientist, what makes Call My Doc different from anything else in healthcare market?
A bunch of different things. First of all, it doesn't require retraining everybody to figure out how to use it. Second of all, it works with any phone system that anybody has. Third of all, it's designed from a doctor's perspective. And maybe you could say I have an advantage because I live with a doctor. But at the end of the day, it's designed from the doctor's perspective and the practice's perspective to make things as simple and easy as possible to deal with a large volume of phone calls. And we're going to continue to improve that because we also want to continue to improve it on the patient side so that patients can get done what they want to get done much faster than any other way that they currently do it today. And that's what we're all about, making things simple for the patients and simple for the practices. And it's focused around phone calls because that's just how life is. It doesn't matter how many apps or little bits and pieces of stuff that you might have for your practice, people are going to use the phone, and that's just the way it is. So if you can optimize that particular way of dealing with your doctor and talking to patients and everything else, it's just going to work. And it has. We've done almost 26 million patient calls so far.
Great. What were the toughest challenges in scaling CallMyDoc, and how did we overcome that as a team?
The toughest challenges, there was a couple. First one was a lot of the patient chart software systems don't like change and don't want to let you to connect to them. And that took us a while to get that working correctly. And the next thing that happened is there was a hacking attempt on the United States Eastern Seaboard that caused our service problems. So we had to deal with that type of a problem. And then I would say that the pandemic was huge for us because our business went crazy in terms of growth because we answer phone calls. And if there's no one to answer the phone call, if you don't have Call My Doc, then you're going to wind up listening to 2,000 voicemails a day. And we had to instantly scale from whatever we were doing at the time to being able to handle over 1 million calls a month instantly. So now we've got the system to the point where it's on all the time, it never stops. Because when you're dealing with healthcare and you're dealing with patients and you're dealing with mission critical information and real time information like phone calls, there is no acceptable downtime. It has to work all the time, period.
Great. Looking ahead, where do you see CallMyDoc evolving in the next 2 years?
Um, that's really interesting. So let me tell you an experiment we did. Okay. So I would say maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago. And just to be clear about this, we've been doing AI stuff for 3 to 4 years already, because we look at the AI stuff as a way to make things better, more accurate, and safer for patients. And you have to do it a certain way. So our largest customer in Florida, first thing they wanted us to do, because 75% of their patient base is over the age of 65. They wanted to simplify it because maybe, you can't type in things on your little keypad on your phone and this and that. So we fine tuned and created our own AI model. So when people say their date of birth, it can recognize it, because the number of ways that people say their date of birth and screw it up is very simple stuff like, yeah, my date of birth is 9/18. Oh, wait, it's 9/19. I mean, there's a zillion things like that. And then the other part that's super difficult too is getting their name right. Okay. Because if you don't have a date of birth, you don't have their name right, you can't do anything. So with the name, maybe the patient's chart says Caitlin Smith, but she says, "Hi, this is Kate Smith." Again, ad infinitum. So we've been running that for a couple of years now, and then we took it. They wanted to take it a step further, and they wanted patients to be able to say, call in and say refill, or say appointment, or say Dr. Smith or whatever. And patients hated it because it takes longer to do that kind of interaction with a patient than it does to say press 1 for a refill or 2 for an appointment, because that's instant. And what I've said might sound a little bit contradictory in some points, but we believe that a hybrid AI approach that blends the way people are used to doing things now with some things that make their lives really simple and easy and fast is what people want, because people don't have time. And if we can figure out a way to give patients their time back at the same time make the practice more efficient, it's that simple.
Great. People always ask how we work together as spouses. What is the real formula that makes our collaboration work?
It's pretty simple. You have your business and you ask me for advice when you need it. I run Call My Doc and I ask you for advice when I need it. And that works out really well with two incredibly strong personalities. So there's not constant clashes about what's supposed to happen when and this and that. it actually works out perfectly, because we can help each other at the same time pursue things we want to pursue. I don't know how to describe it better than that. It just works out perfectly.
Great. So, what strength do you think I bring to our businesses, and what strength do you think you bring to our businesses?
Um, Sometimes I'm not totally sure if you're smarter than I am or not, and the fact that you're an amazing doctor, and I don't have to say that. It's not. That's not the point. The point is that your patients, when I come over here to visit, say to me constantly, "She's unbelievable." So that's kind of like a given, right? Now, the fact that you have a technology flair means that when it comes to helping shape what CallMyDoc should be doing and how it should be doing it, it works out great. That there's that kind of partnership that we can bounce off of each other for different things like that.
Correct. Is there a moment building Call My Doc that you feel especially proud of us for?
Yes,
When?
when I almost went out of business
Yeah.
last year, or maybe it was 2024 maybe, because we had a big problem because we were getting so many phone calls that the cost was killing us. So what we did is we optimized as many cost factors as we could, and now it's flipped around so that almost like a unicorn. And when people you talk to people about it, they're like, "How is that possible?" So because we survived that and we did these massive optimizations of beating down the cost, it's great now. It's smooth sailing. Knock on wood. I prefer not to say that out loud, but that's the way it is.
Knock on wood. Great. And I know you know about my love for design and my love for building and constructions and
Hmm.
all of that since my dad also was an architect. And you've seen me working like remodeling and doing all of these different designs. Now I changed that and I made it also all accumulating in an app, which is the Fixer Flip.
Right.
You've watched the Fix and Flip grow from an idea into a full tech platform. What excites you most about its potential?
Well, it's pretty hilarious because you basically took what should have been obvious to everybody, but put it together in a package that makes it accessible to anybody that wants to be in the business of fixing houses, um, selling houses. Like it's just
Investing. Yeah.
a hub for all those different collaborations in a simple app. So it's just again I find it hilarious because it's so obvious. But the way you did it is you took your experiences in redesigning and rebuilding a house from scratch and remodeling it, and then light bulb went off and wait a minute, this probably is really difficult for other people. How can we make it easier? And that's all it was.
Correct. To help people like be able to find an undervalued property and connect them with the contractors, with the architects, with the real estate agents, with the lenders, and be able to communicate with each other and
Yeah, but
find it a very easy task
if you
rather than
if you
very
try to
hard
do if you
task.
try to do that by hand, it's really
Takes
painful.
forever and you cannot find, so it's actually all done for the investor to find the correct property.
Mhm.
How do you see AI transforming real estate and healthcare in the coming years?
I'm not sure on the real estate side. On the real estate side, I'm not like.
How about the AI renovations? How about like bringing like the materials that matches a certain property?
Well, I think again, it makes things faster and easier. At the end of the day, AI isn't that complicated, really. It's just an accelerant for your brain. And if you can get it, for instance, with the real estate that you're describing, to help you get through 10 steps, but instead of it taking 2 days, it takes 2 minutes.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of that.
Yeah.
Now, on the healthcare side, I see a lot of people rushing into it, which is going to get interesting because a lot of people aren't going to survive it. And not only that, but it's really funny because there's tons of people out there that say eh, that look, it makes it look like everybody does everything. So it's really very confusing right now for doctors and other people in the healthcare space because it looks like everybody does it what everybody else does, and that's not even close to being true. Um, Plus, you can't burn through doctors and practices and this and that like you can in other potentially other tech fields because if you lose a practice or lose a doctor, they never come back, and that's just how that works. And fortunately, we haven't fallen into that trap, and we're not going to because we have a very proven environment system model about how we do what we do. And if you're trying to come in, you used to do, a shoe store, you did whatever, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I'm going to do AI in healthcare. It's really going to be a bad situation for a lot of people, but for us, we're fine.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't replace like the compassion and the human touch and like talking to a human being. So if it can help in some paperwork, if it can help in identifying certain things easy, but it cannot replace a human being.
Not even close.
Mhm.
Not even close.
If you want to give one piece of advice to entrepreneurs starting a tech company while raising a family, what would it be?
Um, it's really difficult because, you know, it's difficult because what happens is that depending on what age you are and what age your kids are, you you know the intersection of the prime of what people have thought of as the prime time of your life to make as much money as possible and raising kids is kind of like your late 20s and 30s and early 40s and whatever, right? And all those pieces don't fit together too well sometimes. So my best advice though is that there's never there's never a good time to go out and do your own thing. And you shouldn't do that. If you want to do something, you think you can do something, you need to do it. And especially if it's something that makes you happy and at the same time helps you to learn and at the same time makes money. I mean, it's awesome. Like what I'm doing with Call My Doc. I mean, I could work on it all the time because it's almost like a hobby that pays a lot of money.
Well, yeah, it's, I think, yeah, yeah, what you mean that everyone has to follow their dreams and probably don't take no as an answer. If they have vision and have the persistence to get it done, they should go for that.
Yes.
Okay. We come from two different cultures, of
Mm-hmm.
course. I'm Egyptian and you are from New Hampshire, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. How has that shaped our family and our understanding of each other?
What we've done is we've absorbed pieces of each of those backgrounds into each other. And I don't know if you've noticed it, but I've definitely noticed that there's a bunch of stuff that, since they call New Hampshire the live free or die state, because that's the state motto,
Uh-huh.
I think that fits pretty well with your personality. And then I think I've always been, since I was a kid, fascinated in Egypt and the culture and everything else. So to me, I think it's awesome and it keeps things interesting all the time. From your background, your perspective, and the way that you do things, I've learned lots and lots of stuff from you.
Okay, thank you. And I did too. So it doesn't bother you. I know you like our food. How about our emotions, like our.
No, no, and I get it. Here's the fun part, right? Um, I have to be the stable, calm one.
Well, you are very calm, Carl. I
No, but I
can
have
tell
to
you,
do that
overly calm.
because what would happen is if I was reacting the same way that you react, there would be like explosions, and
Oh, wow.
I think it's way easier. Uh, I don't know. I mean, you turn me into a better man, a better person, a better husband, a better everything.
Oh,
So
thank you.
I'm not sure
And
what to say
you
about
do
it
the
other than what I
same.
just said.
Thank you. What traditions or values matter most to you that you hope our children carry forward? Work ethics? Will that be
Well,
one of them?
work ethic, sure, but I think that I want them to be happy and pursue their lives the way that they want, and not putting any restrictions on themselves. And if they want to do something, then they need to do it. And if we can help them, we're going to help them do that. Um, I think in the environment that we're in now, which has been coming for quite a while now, that there's getting married and having kids and all that other stuff is like, I don't know. It's not the same thing it was before. It's very different now. And I think that people, men and women, are, you know, it's not always on the same page. And I think that over time now, um, it'll create more, I guess, what I'd say, older families. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. I mean, in other words, people might not get married until they're early 30s, mid 30s, whatever, and start having kids or even later, because that's how it is now. But what I want is, for our kids, is for them to pursue exactly what they want and not waste their time. Because unfortunately, one, the most expensive thing you're spending is your time. And it becomes more and more clear as you get older that your time is more valuable than money and gold and diamonds and anything else. And the less you have of it, the more you appreciate the fact how expensive it is. So, when you're younger, you can actually also take more chances and do all kinds of stuff because it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not a big deal. You want to move to, Zimbabwe, do it. And then if it doesn't work out, whatever,
Come back.
do something else.
Yeah, okay. And is there something about our relationship that you think inspires our kids?
Yes, everything about they absorb everything and they see everything. And I think that our relationship helps them to be more stable or grounded or whatever you want to call it, and more calm and relaxed. And I don't know. That's just what I think.
Yeah, okay. What do you hope people take away from listening to our story tonight?
Um, you'd be surprised. That's all I can say. That people, if you think that something's not going to work out, um, you're going to be given paths and choices, and you need to use your, I don't know if you call it instinct or whether you think it's God's divine hand or whatever you want to call it, but you're going to be guided into certain things in certain areas, and if it feels right, you should just go with the flow. Don't try to resist it. Just go along and see what happens, because it's probably is the right thing to do, that nature or God or whatever is pointing you in a certain direction, you need to do that.
Correct. Looking back at everything we built, professionally and personally, what are you most grateful for?
Being with you.
I think. Okay.
The other stuff
Same
doesn't
here.
even matter to me.
What is one dream you still want us to pursue together?
Um, I don't know. We have so much it's to be grateful for. It's kind of hard to. I don't know how to pin it down to anything. I mean, aside from I like to be at the ranch as often as possible. with the 5 dogs and the chickens and all the other stuff. I mean,
And the
I don't know.
eggs
I don't know what to
from
say
the
about it.
chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Carl, thank you for joining us today,
Thank you.
not just as my guest, but as my partner in life and in every dream we've built together. Our story is unconventional, challenging, beautiful, and still unfolding. And to everyone listening, thank you for being part of this journey with us. We hope our story inspires you to chase your dreams fearlessly, to build with love, and to embrace every chapter of your life. Until next time, this is Dr. Shahinaz Solomon. You've been listening to Beyond the Stethoscope.